Good morning, class 8. So today we will complete second chapter. Today's topic is composition of population. Important characteristics of a population besides its size and growth rate are the way in which its members are distributed according to age, sex, urban, rural status, literacy, marital status, etc. This structuring of population based on these attributes is termed as population composition or the demographic structure. Let us elaborate on two of these attributes. So, composition. Alright, when we talk about the composition of population, so actually we are talking about the size of the population, that means how much population that area is having. Okay, then we are talking about its growth rate. Alright, that how many newborn are there. Okay, its death rate. Then how it is distributed, like according to the age, like how many children are there, okay, how many adults are there, how many old people are there. All right, and along also with that, whether they are living in the towns or the cities, okay, how much education they have got, and whether they are married or not, how many of them are married. Okay, so these things are actually the composition of population. Okay, so two of its characteristics we will learn. The first one is age and sex composition. The age-sex composition of a society's population has significant implications for the current and future development of that society. Alright, so you know that in a given society, what is the age? Alright, the percentage age of that given society, the people who are living there. Alright, whether most of them are young or old. You know that India is termed as the country of young people, because number of young people in our country is much more higher if we compare it with other countries, other developed countries. Okay, age structure. The age structure of a population refers to the number of people in different age groups. Any population can be divided into three age groups. So let us talk about how the population is divided into three age groups. Okay, the first age group is 0 to 14 years. So we call them children, and they are actually dependent. Alright, dependent in the sense that they are not earning, they are dependent on their families. Okay, so we call them dependent. 15 to 59, these are adults. So that is the working class, that is productive population, because from the age of 15 up to 59 people are working, they are earning, so they are working or productive population. Now the third group is of 60 years and above. So they are called aged people, that is old people. So they are dependent because they that is the age when people stop working, so they are no more productive. Okay, so aged people, they are also dependent population. The first and the third groups are known as dependent population, as they are mostly dependent on the second group, that is the working group. Okay, like children, they are dependent on their that parents. Okay, old people also, they are dependent on that their children, their son or daughter, because they are not working. A higher working population is considered to be an asset for a country. If the number of children in the population is higher, it indicates a young population, which in turn means that the region has a high birth rate, hence the dependency ratio will be high. Similarly, a growing population in the third age group indicates an aging population. So higher working population, that is an asset to the society for a country, like more people are working. Okay, so that shows the progress of a given country. But if the number of children in the population is more, alright, so it shows young population, but children, they are not working. Okay, so they are dependent. Understood? And that it also shows that there is a high birth rate. Okay, more newborns are there. Alright, and that is why the dependency ratio, that means the children are dependent on their parents, so it also increases. Similarly, if the growing population is there, alright, that is the third age group, it also increases. It also indicates an aging population. That means old people are more there. If the number of that old people are more there, then also there is an expenditure on their health care and other facilities, all right, which has to be given to the old people. Now, sex composition. Another structural feature of population is the relative numbers of males and females, also called the sex ratio. It is defined as, now what is the definition of sex ratio? So it is defined as the number of females per 1000 males in the population. So what is sex ratio? The number of females per 1000 males. Alright. The sex ratio is an important information. It means that how many females are there on 1000 male. Okay. That it should be equal. Okay. It should be equal number of male and female. But that if we talk about that sex ratio, in our country, some of the states, that sex ratio is very poor. Okay, that means more males are there. If we compare it with 1000 male to female, then more males are there than female. The sex ratio is an important information about the status of women in a country. In regions with gender discrimination, the sex ratio is unfavorable for women. Such areas are those where the practice of female foeticide, female infanticide and domestic violence against women are prevalent. It means that those societies, okay, where the condition of woman is not that much good, their sex ratio is very poor. Okay, so there are certain type of you can say that bad practices which are there, which are prevalent there in some of the societies, even in our country also. Okay, some of the bad practices which we are having is that violence against women. Okay, then female foeticide, like in the that the newborn babies. Okay, if a girl child, they are not looked after, so they die. Female infanticide, in that case, even when they are in their mother's womb, that time also it is detected because of that new technology, and they are killed. So this is why that some of the areas are having poor sex ratio. Females have a biological advantage over males, as they tend to be more resilient than males. Yet this advantage is nullified by the social disadvantages and discrimination that they face. Okay, so they are having actually that biological advantage, but since in our society the discrimination is there, okay, they are not treated equally. That is why they are facing that problem. By nature, slightly more males are born than females, a typical ratio being 105 and 106 males for every 100 females. That is also that biological thing, that naturally more males are born if we compare it with female. What is the ratio? 100 to 100, 105 to 106 males are born for every 100 females. The average sex ratio in the world according to UN report of 2015 is 983.3 females to every 1000 males. So you can see naturally the number of female are less. The highest sex ratio in the world has been recorded in Curacao, which is 1218 females per 1000 males. So if it is asked which country is having the highest sex ratio, then the answer will be Curacao. How much? What is the ratio? 1218 females per 1000 males. In contrast, as of 2015, the lowest sex ratio of Qatar, alright, that is another country, it is very less, 308.3 females per 1000 males. Okay. The sex ratio is favorable for females in 139 countries of the world. It has been found. Okay, so in 139 countries of the world, the sex ratio is very good. Alright, that is more females are there in 139 countries, and unfavorable for them in the remaining 72 countries listed by the United Nations. In general, Asia has a low sex ratio. Countries like China, India, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan and Afghanistan, these countries actually are having a lower sex ratio. On the other extreme is greater part of Europe, alright, including Russia, where males are in minority. So as you can see that various that interesting trend is there in some part of Europe, also in Russia, where males are in minority. That is a very that unique thing, that more females are there if we compare with the number of males. A deficit of males in the population of many European countries is attributed to better status of women and an excessively male-dominated out migration to different parts of the world in the past. So why it has happened? It is because the status of woman is very good there in those countries, okay, European countries, including Russia, and also mostly the males are migrating to other part of the world, all right, in search of job. The sex ratio in India is a matter of concern. All right, in our country, the sex ratio is not that much good. You know that the average sex ratio is 950. That means 950 females per 1000 males. So it is very less. In some other, there are some of the states of our country that sex ratio is very poor, like Rajasthan, all right, Haryana, Punjab, and Kerala is the best state, if you can say that in Kerala the sex ratio is very good. That means more females are there if we compare it with the number of more females are there if we compare it with the number of males. Now the second topic is rural-urban composition. Okay, rural means village, urban means towns and cities. Rural population refers to the people residing in villages, while urban population refers to the people living in cities. The division between rural and urban area is significant in terms of geographical distribution of population. The percentage of rural population is higher in farm-based agricultural countries, while industrially developed regions have higher share of urban population. Today, around 54% of the world population is urban, while 46% is rural. Now, it means that rural population means the people who are living in villages. Okay, so those countries where agriculture is the you can say the main livelihood for the people, all right, that means most of the people in that given country are farmers. Okay, their economy is mostly based on agriculture. In that case, more rural population is there, high rural population is there. And those countries where that industrialization occurred, all right, more industries are there, so most of the people are working in the factories, industries. Okay, so there is a high number of people who are living in the towns and cities. Okay, so according to this new trend, 54% of the world population, if 100 people are there in the world, 54 people are living in the towns and cities, and only 46 are living in the villages. For a long time now, there has been a nearly universal flow of population from rural into urban areas. The most highly urbanized societies in the world are those of Western and Northern Europe, Australia, New Zealand, temperate South America, and North America. In all these regions, the proportion of urban population exceeds 75%. So there are examples where countries are having more of its population in the urban areas. That means people from the rural areas actually has migrated towards the cities or the urban areas. Some examples are that of Western and Northern Europe, Australia, New Zealand, okay, temperate South America, North America. Okay, so how much population is there in the towns and cities, or you can say urban areas? 75% of the population. In many of the developing countries of Asia and Africa, the urbanization process has only recently begun. Less than 1/3 of the population lives in urban areas, but the rate of growth of urban areas has shown a great increase. The general rule for developing countries is that the rate of growth of urban area is twice that of the population as a whole. So that now in the developing countries of Asia, like India is there, okay, China is there, some African countries also, the urbanization process actually has started. Okay, and that 1/3 of the population of that given countries actually lives in the towns, but the rate of growth of urban area has shown a great increase. That means the number of towns has increased in that given countries, Asian countries or African countries. Okay, and what is the general rule for the developing countries? that the rate of growth of urban area is twice that of the population as a whole. Got how much population increasing? If we compare it with the number of towns and cities, the number of towns and cities are increasing at a double rate. A prominent feature of population redistribution, especially in developing countries, is the growth of major cities. Almost half of the world's population lives in cities. It is projected that that there would be about 8 billion cities dwellers in the world by 2030, and 80% of them would be living in developing countries. Okay, so that is also a new trend, alright, which has seen nowadays mostly in developing countries. The growth of major cities, like if we talk about India, you can see that Delhi is there, Mumbai is there, okay, Chennai is there, Kolkata is there. So these are mega cities, you can say, all right. And it is estimated that around in the coming years, like by 2030, 80% of them would be living in developing countries. Okay, and for now, all right, it is estimated, okay, that 8 billion city dwellers, alright, that means 8 billion people will be living in the mega cities. Now let us talk about population pyramid. What is population pyramid? A graphic method used to show the age and sex composition of a population, okay, simultaneously called the age-sex pyramid. So we use it to show the age and sex composition of a given population, or the population pyramid. It is called a pyramid. Why we call it a pyramid? You can see in the figure the shape of it. Okay, so it looks like a pyramid. Alright. An age-sex pyramid is a variation of a graphical presentation technique called a bar chart, in which the length of a bar represents a proportion of the total. A vertical line divides the males from the females in the population. It is customary for the males to be represented on the left side of the graph and the females on the right. Generally, there are 3 types of population pyramids. So one by one we will talk about them. Those with a broad base, okay, expansive. Those with the broad middle part, that is called constructive, and those with a broad peak, stationary. Now you can see in the figure, okay, that a given population pyramid there, and the country for which that pyramid has been drawn, that is Nigeria, okay, in 2017. Okay, so it is expanding. What kind of pyramid it is? Expanding. Okay, so on the left side that is the number of male, and right side there is the number of females. Alright, so you can see there a broad base. You can see that broad base of that given pyramid. Okay, you can see on your left hand side standing line is there. You can see that age is given there. Okay, 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19. A vertical line is there, and that age is written there. Okay, then you can see that percentage is given there on that base line. Okay, 8%, 6%, 4%, 2%, 0%, then 2%, 4%, 6%, 8%. Alright, and that increase has been shown, and it shows the number of, that is for the year 2017. Okay, so it shows that more newborns were there. Alright, and as you go up, the number is decreasing. That means the people of age around 80 plus, that is very less, only 0.6%. Alright, for males, and 0.9% for the females. Okay, and then you can see the base one, base, that is 0 to 4 group. You can see it is written 8.6%. Okay, so 8.6% male and 8.2% females. You can see more male are there. 7.5% the age group of 5 to 9, 7.5%, and female 7.1%. Okay, so that is how you can say a population pyramid is drawn. Alright. Now we will talk about the 3 population pyramids. First one is a population pyramid with a broad base. The figure which I have shown you, that figure was having a broad base. That means more newborns were there, more younger population were there, and as we were going up, alright, that means when we move towards the elderly people, the number was decreasing. Okay, so it indicates of a large that proportion of children in the total population of a country. It also indicates that the population will grow faster in the future, and many people will have to be provided with gainful employment. Such pyramids are characteristics of a developing country. So India is also a developing country, so the same that graph will be available for us also. Okay, that means more newborns, more younger population, and less older population. So in the future, that younger population, they will grow, so they will need a job, all right, to earn their livelihood. All right, so all type of facilities has to be given to those younger population. A country exhibiting this type of population pyramid is Nigeria, that example which we have seen. Given below is the population pyramid of Nigeria that we have seen, that was for the year 2017. The x-axis, the percentage of total population, y-axis shows the various age group that I have shown you. A pyramid with a broad center. Alright, I will show you the figure. Okay, slowly we will move towards the figure. Okay, here. That is the second example, that is called constant. Okay, and the third figure is of declining. You can see the base is very narrow, all right, and the age group of that 50 to 54, I will try to show you. See there, 50 to 54, that is very high. Okay, so that is in the middle, it is broader, all right, and the base is a little bit narrow and the top is very narrow. All right, so that is called declining. Okay, so if that narrow base is there, it shows a small proportion of children. That means newborn children are very less in that country. Okay, and a broad center, it shows that large working population is there. And this is the characteristics of countries that have reduced their population growth rate. Already they have worked over it, and they have that decreased that birth rate, and their economies are expanding. Alright, so these are rich countries since they are having a large working population. Alright, and it also shows that mean unemployment, that means very less unemployment is there. So which countries are having that kind of population pyramid? Countries like America, USA. Okay, so that figure which we have seen, okay, that was for the year 2017. Now the population pyramid with a broad peak, that means the top part is broader. Alright, it shows aging population, that means the people which are old. Okay, it shows that for a long time the country or the society concerned has had a low growth rate, that means a number of newborn is very less. The old age dependency in such instances is high, because that older people like over 60, so they are dependent population. The old age dependency is in such instances is high, and there is a high burden of social security. Shortage of manpower may also be pyramid characteristic of developed countries. So mostly where it is seen in the developed countries like Japan. Alright, so the figure which we have seen, alright, that was of Germany. Okay, for the year 2017. Alright, so this chapter is over, so you will go through the question answers. Alright, and if you are having any doubt, okay, you can ask me. Thank you.